So welcome everyone to our, I lost count. Actually, I don't know why I'm trying to do that. This is probably our 15th episode in the past 2 months of the roundtable. We've had great guests and we have a great one here today too. Huff is going to talk about on-chain investment management, and also we're going to hear a little bit about Reimagined finance too, or we can hear a lot about it too. But yeah, I'll leave it to you to talk about yourself, your background, and how you got into crypto.
Perfect. Thank you, Kadeem. So my own background, I majored in economics and graduated in 2010 and worked for an investment bank in London for 10 years. I was a equity derivatives trader, so imagine call options, put options, more exotic options on all the major indices like the S&P, VIX, Eurostock, FTSE, that kind of stuff. Um, Having done that, I rage quit my job in 2019. Just got fed up with traditional finance and compliance and kind of just the bureaucracy of what was going on, and went full time DeFi in 2019. For people that have been around long enough, 2019 DeFi was essentially just degen farming across multiple chains. Did well out of that, and then December of last year, so December 2021, me and a couple of developer friends decided to tackle a bigger problem, which is the fact that you have a lot of on-chain money in USDC and ETH looking for a home, looking to generate yield, and they don't necessarily want to go to a CeFi lender like BlockFi or Genesis or somebody like that. So DAO treasuries, high net worth individuals, retail investors like all of us here, and so we decided to start Reimagined Finance, which is, to our knowledge, the only on-chain investment management protocol where you can go in and deposit USDC and you will get your returns in USDC, and we do all the active management for you.
Nice. Yeah, that's great. I was able to actually hear a little bit about Reimagine a few months ago. I thought it was really cool. I remember we hopped on the call a while ago to talk about it. So definitely great to hear um, that. Just hear more about it. Also, like I would love to hear about the progress of it and like the current like uh, phase that you're at right now.
Yeah, sure. So if I rewind back to December 2021, here was the problem. If you cast your mind back, you had all the kind of crazy ohm forks generating these hundreds of thousands percent APY. You had Anchor from Terra generating you a base APY of 20% in UST. And you had a whole bunch of other innovations in the liquidity space like Uniswap V3, where you could provide liquidity and earn these trading fees just by providing an asset or two into a liquidity pool. And the difficulty for most investors was they're very familiar with using something like Binance and speculating on a token, but they were really stuck when it came to generating that yield themselves. Because if you think about even in the simplest instance, you have to go on Uniswap, go on pool, decide which assets you wanted to contribute to what pool, and to work out what fees you're making net of impermanent loss, i.e., how much you lose when one asset goes up relative to the other. It's a really complex task. And so the way that we decided to tackle that problem was to launch a token. So this was the refi token, and the way that the refi token worked, it was an ERC20 token where investors went on a DEX, they swapped their ETH for refi. So you'd get, let's say, 100,000 refi tokens in exchange for one ETH, or whatever the rate was. And then you didn't have to do anything. You didn't have to stake your ETH or anything like that. Um, we essentially took a portion of the proceeds and then we farmed that ETH. So if you think about your user who comes, he swaps one of his ETH or her ETH for refi tokens. They get those refi tokens. That one ETH or a portion of it came to me and my team. We would then farm that across Arbitrum, Avalanche, Solana, any of these ecosystems. And when we generate yield, the way that our holders made returns is that they connected their wallet to the DApp, and they would earn their rewards in ETH terms, not in refi tokens, but in ETH, in hard kind of currency. And so that was a major innovation which we had. Um, Success-wise, so we hit a market cap of just north of $100 million. We have just over $2 million in our treasury, i.e., that's how much money we are currently farming. And as part of that, we had a couple of DAO treasuries come to us and say, hey, like, look, we love what you're doing, but we can't buy your token because it's just too volatile. What we really want to do is give you some USDC, and we want you to farm that USDC for us. And that's where we launched Refi Pro, which is different to the token. It's our main product offering nowadays. And the Refi Pro offering is essentially like this. Investors deposit USDC into a vault. That money then goes into our Fireblocks account, so a digital custody wallet, which is extremely secure. And then we would use Fireblocks to execute all the DeFi trades on behalf of our investors. So to make that tangible, we've got just north of $3.5 million across different mandates in those vaults. You can participate subject to a minimum of 25K. You put your money into the Refi Pro Vault, and then we do all the trading and investing for you.
Nice. I love to hear that.